injured goose with a damaged wing crawled beneath an approaching car. A collision with a deer sent it tumbling onto the road, but just seconds later, it quickly got back on its feet and ran away. A police patrol vehicle collided with an animal, sending it flying over the hood before it landed on the roadside. The wild boar suddenly charged onto the road, causing an accident as a Nissan X-Trail T32 was driving through the area. A routine drive was unexpectedly interrupted by a calm duck casually crossing the road somewhere along the way. Goats struck by speeding trains, why don't humans take better care to protect their own livestock? Goat was hit by a local train and became trapped beneath the carriage. Will it survive? People often assume animals only wander onto highways, but in reality, danger can find them anywhere. A kangaroo was struck by vehicles on the Hume Highway in Victoria, triggering a series of devastating chain reaction accidents. Dashcam footage captured the moment a car unfortunately collided with a goose on the road. A fox was tragically struck by a car on the roadway, a stark reminder of the dangers wildlife face when crossing busy transport routes. An unfortunate incident occurred near Lake Pleasant when a king snake was run over on the road. An accident happened due to a collision with a deer, serving as a reminder of the risks posed by wildlife, especially when driving through forested and mountainous areas. A kangaroo was hit by a car while it was driving along the road. Immediately after the impact, an unmarked police car following behind pulled over to assess the damage and alerted wildlife rescue services about the injured animal. The kangaroo slipped and nearly brought disaster upon itself, but luckily escaped death by a split second. A mountain lion suddenly lunged toward a passing vehicle. Just outside Bakersfield, California, a bear was hit by a vehicle on State Route 58. While driving, the motorist encountered a herd of goats being herded across the road. One goat suddenly darted out, nearly causing a collision, but quick braking prevented any injuries. Fawn was hit by a train, tossed off the tracks, but fortunately survived. A bird was struck by the train. A herd of cows crossed the tracks, but unfortunately one was left behind. It suddenly darted through a fence and appeared right in front of the last locomotive, getting hit hard and dying. A deer suddenly lunged at a man on a motorcycle, leaving him dazed for a moment. Luckily, he was okay, only slightly hurt. What an astonishing situation. A pig tried to cross the railway tracks and was struck by the KJM WDG-3A 1330 train on the Shimoga-Bangalore route. One crazy pig pulled off an incredible escape, like something straight out of an action movie. A family of geese was crossing the tracks. As the train came speeding toward them, a gosling got trapped behind, but fortunately everyone survived and no tragedy occurred. One wrong decision led a deer to risk its life by crossing the tracks as a train approached at high speed. A cyclist is in danger as a rampaging cow chases him. A cow is hit by a car while wandering in Los Angeles. It then wanders about a mile before finally returning home. An injured goose runs under a car on the road. Luckily, no one is hurt. A lucky rabbit narrowly escaped twice as motorcycles sped past, thanks to its quick reflexes. While riding through the city, a motorcyclist almost collided with a massive moose that suddenly appeared from the roadside bushes. Fortunately, he swerved in time and continued his journey. At night, a driver unexpectedly hit a herd of cows crossing the highway. A car struck a reindeer. car collided with a wild boar in the Seletar North. Dashcam footage from a Volkswagen captured the nighttime collision with a wild boar. A police vehicle traveling at around 80 mph struck a deer. A moose was hit by a car but managed to get back up and walk away. A foolish cow sits in front of a train and gets hit. The turtle slowly moves straight toward the tracks and, to its horror, it goes right onto the rails. A large snake slithers onto the tracks and, unfortunately, a train comes by, crushing it as it writhes in pain. The cow crossing the tracks gets hit by an express train at 110 h. Incidents like this are not just dangerous for the animals, but also threaten passenger safety, potentially causing derailments, traffic disruptions, and property damage. A mother deer and her fawn step onto the railroad tracks. The mother makes it safely across, but the fawn is struck by an oncoming train. By a matter of inches, the young deer narrowly escapes a deadly collision with an Amtrak train. A cow suddenly bursts out of the bushes directly in front of a fast-moving train rounding a curve, and despite the engineer sounding the horn, the accident happens in an instant. 3 cows appeared on the tracks. The train slowed down and waited until they moved away safely. A large cow standing on the tracks was hit by a high-speed train near the Jehilam area. The train nearly hit a moose, and afterward the animal turned back and appeared to challenge the train. In Steamboat Springs, Colorado, a moose confronted an oncoming train while feeding. The mother and calf were separated as the train approached, but fortunately both survived. In the blink of an eye, the train nearly collides with a troop of monkeys, but all of them manage to escape just in time. The train barrels forward and crashes head-on, leaving the kangaroo with no chance to get away. At a level crossing, the train rushes in as monkeys cross the tracks, but one monkey narrowly avoids disaster. After a confrontation with another goose, the bird ran into the road and was unfortunately struck by a car. As the rally car was entering its run-a stage, it suddenly collided with a cow crossing the road. A heartbreaking accident occurred when a donkey pulling a cargo cart was hit by a high-speed train. As a result, the farmer lost both the donkey and the cart. When a group of kangaroos spotted a steam locomotive from the Bennett Brook Railway approaching, they decided to leap away and ran parallel just ahead of the train. A serious collision occurred when a train struck a cow on the tracks, killing the animal instantly. At At the 23-second mark, a deer suddenly darted across the tracks right in front of Père Marquette 1225, escaping death by a razor-thin margin just a few steps away. Watch how the train driver skillfully maneuvers the locomotive to safely drive a flock of sheep off the tracks. Struck by a train. Despite panicking and trying to flee the tracks, the animals failed to escape in time. A buffalo was hit head-on by a train but miraculously survived, a rare case of survival after a collision with a locomotive. A monkey was hit by a car, resulting in its death. On the highway, a bird suddenly smashed into the windshield of a speeding car. During the V8 supercar race at Bathurst, a foolish bird suddenly darted onto the track. A baby monkey was struck by a white speeding car, while its mother screamed in panic. During a drive through the countryside, a bear suddenly ran across the road and was hit by one car and another vehicle. Suddenly, a turkey flew across the road, but the car braked in time, avoiding a serious collision. A turkey vulture encountered a truck traveling at 80 km/h on the road. An elephant was hit by a train near the Rajaji Tiger Reserve, injured and lying right beside the tracks. Three goats got stuck on the tracks as a train approached. A few bold moose crossed the tracks, nearly getting hit by the train. They continued on nonchalantly, as if believing the train would slow down. With a train at Banff National Park, but in the end had to give up and run away. A poor donkey was standing on the railway tracks and was struck by a high-speed train. A young boy tried to protect the donkey from the oncoming train, desperately chasing it away, but the animal refused to leave the tracks. In the end, both the boy and the donkey were safe. A mother deer and her fawn crossed the tracks. The mother managed to escape safely, but the young deer was unfortunately hit by a freight train. Surprisingly, another deer nearly got hit as the train rushed past, but luckily there was no collision, which was truly a relief.